All right, welcome back to Sportsline, everybody. Jon Burton with you. Titans and Browns season opener in Cleveland, Sunday, 12 noon. You can watch it over on NewsChannel 5 in spectacular HD. It is the national CBS game in the early window of games. So Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson on the call. Let's head up to Cleveland and find out what's going on there as they get ready to open the season against the Titans. We check in with one of my favorites, friend of show, Emmett Golden from ESPN Radio in Cleveland. Goldie, welcome back to the show, man. It's always great to have you on.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate any time you give me the call and bring me out the bullpen.
All right, Emmett, listen, you know I'm a big fan of you, your radio station, the guys in the morning, your afternoon show. I'm supposed to be covering sports here in Nashville, but I'm always listening to you guys. I'm a subscriber to thelandondemand.com. I take Jobies, okay? Man, I was listening to Riz and Hammer this morning on your morning show. My goodness, Riz did call your shot, and there wasn't one person in Cleveland that A, thinks the Browns are going to lose, and B, thinks they're going to not win by more than 2 touchdowns. I mean, confidence is high right now in Cleveland heading into the season regarding the Browns, isn't it?
Oh, there's no question about that, especially from a fan base that's, they're so thirsty to have a good team and get behind, just a good team to have a chance to win on Sunday. So everybody's really excited. I'm excited as well, and I do like the Browns on Sunday to get the win, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout, a shootout, or anything of that nature. I think it's going to take a few weeks for that offense to start to click. So I don't expect them to score 40 points at all, and obviously that Tennessee defense is pretty good as well, so they're going to have something to say about it. It's just kind of fans being fans, man. They're excited, and they think the Browns are going to go 16-0 and blow everybody out, but that's what you get from Cleveland Browns fans.
I think you said it the last time you were on the show. You said, look, Cleveland loves Cleveland. People walk around, and I experienced the same thing when I lived in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh loves Pittsburgh, and now that the Browns are on the verge of maybe doing something special here, that's certainly heightened up. You mentioned the offense, and I know a lot of the talk up there has been around Odell Beckham Jr. Didn't do much during the OTAs, didn't play, I don't think, in any preseason game. But the feeling up there is that he's regular season ready, right?
Yeah, the biggest thing was getting Odell healthy, to the opener and having him 100% healthy, which he is. He's part of the reason I don't expect this offense to click right away. Not saying he's going to hurt the offense, but like you said, he wasn't at OTAs, didn't play in any preseason games, and even during training camp when the Browns had team drills 11 on 11, he didn't participate in any of those. So for the past 2 weeks, he's been back with the ones and working in team drills. But I think it takes a little longer to get that chemistry. And, Baker Mayfield has chemistry with Jarvis Landry and Hollywood Higgins, so they'll still be okay. But I think it'll be a few weeks before you really see what Baker Mayfield and Odell will be able to do this year.
We're talking with Emmett Golden from ESPN Radio in Cleveland as we get ready for the Titans and the Browns to open the regular season on Sunday. Emmett, I was in the Titans locker room today, talked to a lot of players, mostly defensive players, and they all had nothing but good things to say about Baker Mayfield. Rashaan Evans, the middle linebacker, he said, I love going up against a quarterback who has as much confidence as a guy like Baker does, who's a trash talker like Baker does. He said it's almost like going up against a guy with a defensive mentality. They talked about the fact that Baker trusts his arm and he's going to put the ball in tight spaces. And Kevin Byard, the Pro Bowl safety who had 3 interceptions the last time the Titans played in Cleveland against the Browns, he probably had the line of the day. He said, listen, this guy doesn't care that I've had 12 interceptions the last 2 years and have been to the Pro Bowl. This is a guy that trusts his arm. He's a gunslinger. I mean, listen, Baker Mayfield at times can be kind of a polarizing figure. I think you would agree with that. But, man, he's gaining respect around the league, no question.
Yeah, I think it's his attitude and his ability as well, because he does have that gunslinger, Brett Favre kind of mentality, and guys respect that. Guys respect players who have talent and will back it up, and also will talk. Like, I think that's part of this Browns culture change. They got a lot of guys that talk a lot of stuff, and that's we're not used to that in Cleveland because there really was nothing that any other players could say because they were losing consistently. Well, now all of these guys, a bunch of guys on the defensive side, a bunch of guys on the offensive side, they walked in the door last year and this year and said, you know what, we are good, and we're going to tell everybody about it, and then we're going to show everyone. And I think that just, that to me, that's what football is about, right? A little playful, rivalry and talking some junk and not getting personal, because I don't believe, Baker's ever really gotten personal as far as calling anybody out. But, yeah, he believes in himself. He believes in his receivers as well, and you can see it. He's going to take some chances, and, some of them are going to pay off, some of them aren't, but you're not going to stop Baker from being Baker.
No question about it. We're talking with Emmett Golden from ESPN Radio in Cleveland to get the Browns' perspective as the Titans get ready to take on the Cleveland Browns up in Cleveland. Regular season opener. Cannot wait for this game. And it's so funny, Emmett, when you talk about the two quarterbacks. We have Marcus Mariota down here, who's as quiet as a church mouse. You can barely get a peep out of him going up against such a dynamic personality in Baker Mayfield. So interesting contrast there. Freddie Kitchens, it'll be his first NFL regular season game as a head coach. What are your impressions of him? What are Cleveland's impressions of him, and how ready do you think he is to lead this team for 16 games?
Well, it started off on a good note because Baker said he liked Freddie, and everybody in Cleveland was like, hey, Baker likes him, we like him. We've had an opportunity to see him through a training camp and, through a week of practice or two, and he's a straight shooter. We saw last year he can call a good game as offensive coordinator. He will throw some stuff out there that you haven't seen on tape, so always has a trick or two up his sleeve. Mm-hmm. And I think he's the type of guy that's going to be honest, a straight shooter, much like Vrabel. I think the only thing that's different is Freddie's a country boy, and he speaks with a little twang. And I think, that's probably the biggest difference between the two, but they both tell it like it is, and they want that competition. They want to face the best, and they want to prove that they deserve to be where they're at, and that's what Freddie Kitchens has done. Now, we'll find out what type of game manager he is, right? When there's how do you manage your timeouts exactly? Do you challenge this and, certain plays and stuff like that? So we'll find all of that out, because that's yet to be seen. We really don't know. But from calling the plays and really getting his players to buy in, listen, you talk about a culture shock, the Browns were in pads just about every day of training camp, and no one on that Browns team had ever witnessed anything like it. It was a shock to them, but Freddie wanted a tough team. I think the Browns came out of this training camp a lot tougher than they've been in quite some time.
Yeah, and seeing the Browns in pads every day at practice had to make your broadcast partner, Gerard Cherry, pretty happy from his old school days with the New England Patriots, right?
Well, nah, not really, because he's like, well, they don't have to practice twice every day like I did. It's like, man, that's over. That's over.
This is the same guy who thinks he can hit Justin Verlander. I've been hearing that the last couple of days too. Boy, confidence is everything, right?
Right after Verlander throws a no-hitter, I sent him, like the box score, and was like, you still think you could do it? He said, absolutely. Nothing greater than confidence, right?
That's right. It's a key. We're talking with Emmett Golden from ESPN Radio in Cleveland as the Titans get ready to take on the Browns on Sunday in the regular season opener. Everybody talks about, how dynamic this Browns offense can be. You mentioned the weapons. It's Baker, it's Hollywood Higgins, it's Odell, it's Juice Landry, it's David Njoku. But that defense is pretty darn good, too. And they could be going up against a kind of a banged-up Titans offensive line. The Titans right tackle, Jack Conklin, did not practice today. They expect him to be back tomorrow. Of course, Taylor Lewan will not be at the game on Sunday, the Pro Bowl left tackle. He's suspended for 4 games for using PEDs. And you have kind of a journeyman in Dennis Kelly lining up at the left side. And, I talked to him today about possibly going up against Myles Garrett, I call him Bruce Smith 2.0, the outstanding outside edge rusher for the Cleveland Browns. He says he feels confident he can block him one-on-one, and he's going to have a game plan to go up against him. But, man, that Browns defense is going to be pretty darn good this year too, right?
Yeah, well, first of all, no one can block Myles Garrett one-on-one, so good luck with that.
So Dennis Kelly's chances are not very good, is what you're saying, right?
No. When Joe Thomas future Hall of Fame left tackle says, man, Miles gave me the blues every day, in practice.
Yeah.
That kid is serious. But, John, I'm telling you, and people think I'm crazy when I say this. Right now, that Browns defense is better than the Browns offense, and I believe it will be the strength of the team. And I know that sounds crazy when you got all the weapons like Chubb and Landry and Odell and everything on that offensive side, but that front four is just as good as any front four in the NFL, and you got a great corner in Denzel Ward, and Terrence Mitchell is really good too. I think he's underestimated and slept on. You got Demarius Randall in that defensive backfield kind of playing center field, and they got a solid pair of linebackers. So I think that front four, once people really see it, their jaws are going to drop, because it's not just Myles Garrett. It's Larry Ogunjobi, who is probably one of the best-kept secrets in all of the NFL, right next to Sheldon Richardson and Olivier Vernon. So it's going to be a long day for a lot of offensive lines in the NFL this season.
Emmett, it's been an offseason of hype surrounding the Cleveland Browns. A lot of people say they could win the division this year, maybe get a first-round bye, maybe go to the Super Bowl. What do you think is a realistic expectation for the Cleveland Browns this year?
I think, winning the division and making the playoffs, even if it's a wild card, either of those I think is realistic. And I'd be disappointed if one of those didn't happen. But, the going to the AFC Championship and winning the Super Bowl, full disclosure, I did put $100 on the Browns to make the Super Bowl. But
there you go.
I did that with my heart and not my head.
Well, Emmett, knowing you, Emmett, you would have spent that $100 on video games or something else anyway, or some Buffalo Wild Wings. So, like I said, I listen every day. I know you, man.
Yeah, you already know. It's no doubt. And if the Browns get hot, maybe I can buy a whole bunch of video games and Buffalo Wild Wings. But, the team will be better. I'm a firm believer. I have a bunch, like you said, you listen to the show. I have a bunch of sayings and beliefs. And one of my main ones is that you have to get there and lose to learn, what it takes to get there and win.
I agree.
And I think that's what the Browns are going to do this year. I think they're going to get there, and they're going to find out exactly what it is to be an elite team. And, I think they're going to end up suffering a loss in the playoffs. But to me, that's not a bad thing. You look at the Browns team, few guys have been to the playoffs, but no one has really had success. So they're going to have to learn what it takes to be successful in the playoffs. I don't necessarily believe that that'll happen this year, but, that's not a bad thing at all.
No question. Emmett, it has come to my understanding that you guys and some of the Browns fans are having a little get-together Saturday night, the night before the game.
Yeah, that's right. The Whoopty Hail party is going down at a club here in Cleveland. There was a moment early on in OTAs when someone asked Freddie Kitchens, you guys look really good on paper. He said, we look good on paper, well, whoopty hail. And from that, that kind of took off.
The Alabama came out, huh?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, a lot of guys from our station, here in Cleveland, and a lot of fans going to get together Saturday night and, just kind of meet up and get ready for Sunday, because Sunday is going to be crazy. Cleveland will be electric.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it'll be an experience. I'm interested to see what you think when you come up here and witness Cleveland this weekend.
Man, it's everybody that's going to this game from the media side, Emmett, we're all saying the same thing. We cannot wait to see what the atmosphere is going to be like, because, we're used to big time like college football atmospheres down here in Tennessee with the SEC and Alabama and, the University of Tennessee and Florida and all that kind of stuff. It's going to feel like that. I think it's going to feel more like a Buckeye game on Sunday than it will a Cleveland Browns game.
Yeah, listen, Cleveland's had LeBron James and has had the NBA Finals and won a title here. The Indians have been in the World Series, and I believe the loudest crowd that I'll ever hear anyway will be on Sunday. And it's just an opening, game. This is a Browns town. No disrespect to LeBron James or the Cleveland Indians.
Right.
This is a football town we love. I just left a middle school football game. Friday, everybody will be at high school games. Saturday, everybody will be watching the Buckeyes. And Sunday, everybody's attention will be focused down on First Energy Stadium, and you will be able to feel the electricity.
Man, I cannot wait. If you don't mind, Emmett, I might stop down to your little party Saturday night and say hello if that's okay.
Yeah, come on down. Come on down and experience the flats in Cleveland.
E. Goldie, you're the best, man. We appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I cannot wait to get to Cleveland and kind of feel the energy and hopefully get a chance to say hello to you and bend the elbow a little bit.
Hey, sounds good to me, man.
All right. Have a great night, my man.
All right, you too. Take it easy.
All right. That is the great Emmett Golden from ESPN Radio 850 in Cleveland, Ohio, as we get you set for the Titans and Browns Sunday afternoon, 12 noon over on NewsChannel 5. We cannot wait. All right, when we come back, we're going to hear from some of the two-tone blue. And I also want to hear from Titans fans. Call your shot. You see the number at the screen. Call your shot for Sunday and what's the Titans record going to be this season. Want to hear from Titans fans. We're back after this.